Hey guys, it's Loves to Loom here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this really cool bracelet. This is not my own design, however it was based off of my Fringy Ladder design. This was sent to me by Chase Malone. On Instagram he is Chase_Power123. I think he did a super awesome job on this bracelet. I really like it. I have yet to get a name on this bracelet from him, so I'm waiting to hear back from that. But he did refer to it as the inverted Fringy Ladder. So here you can see on this side the colors and the pattern, and then if you flip it over, it is the same pattern, however, it does give it a completely different look because of the colors. So I think that's like super cool. You can definitely wear it on either side. To make this bracelet, you will need approximately 240 bands, depending on your wrist size. So let's go ahead and get started. For this bracelet, you will want to have one loom, your hook, and a C-clip. I'll be using my metal tip hook from rainbowloom.com. For the setup of your loom, you will want to have it set up just like I have here. Remove the back bar pin because it makes it a lot easier to get to the back pins. Your front pin should face the right direction, and your arrow on the back bar pin should be facing the left direction. It makes the hooking a lot easier. Also, make sure that your bar pins are aligned like so. I am going to be using a couple different colors. I'll be using white, gray, red, and black. And for the pins we'll be using are going to be, there's 12 of them. So from my left two fingers to my right two fingers, we're going to be using all of these pins here. Make sure you don't have anything in the middle here so that your bracelet can go down in between those pins. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first band that we're going to place, and these are all single bands, is just going to be on this front two pins right here, and we're going to twist it on like an infinity sign or like a figure 8, like so. Let me just get that band out of there. And if you've seen my Fringy Ladder design, you're going to notice that the layout and the looping is very similar, except we're basically going to be doing it 2 times. We're going to turn it around and do the same thing. So after laying your first band, grab your next color, and we're going to lay it diagonal going upwards. So I'll start on the right. I'm actually going to use red. Also twist that one. We're going to twist the whole first layer, just like that. And now we're going to go out to the left. Also twisting that one on. So you should have something like that. And now we're going to come down. And for that I'm going to go back to black. Twist that on as well. Do the same on the left side. So this is exactly what it should look like at this point. And now we're going to turn around and lay our second layer, and we're going to keep going back and forth. We're going to be laying this exact same design except on the opposite side. Now when we lay the opposite side, the bands that come forward and touch these two pins, you're going to see those colors on this side, so keep that in mind when choosing your colors. So on this side, after I lay my bands, my colors are going to be red and black in the middle, and then you'll see gray, white, and black. All on this front side. So let me turn it around. And now we're going to go ahead and lay that same exact design. Starting in the middle, we're going to twist on our band. I'm going to be using gray on this side for the middle. Now we're going to go up to these 2 diagonal bands, just like we did the first time, but this time I'm going to use white. Just like that. Doing the same on the left side. And now going from these 2 pins here, coming down, I'm going to use red. And I actually said gray on the other side, I apologize. But go from here to here, I'm going to lay red. Making sure that all those bands were twisted. I know it may look like a lot is going on, but if you just pay attention to the tutorial, you should be fine. So the main thing is for your colors, and it took me a while to even pick up on it, is everything that you see here, all the colors, that's the colors you're going to see when your bracelet's done. So just make sure that any colors that you see here that you're okay with on that side, and the same for the opposite side. So I'm going to turn my loom back around, and now we're going to just push these down so we can add on our next set of bands. Now, again, if you're familiar with my Fringy Ladder, that design was done in steps. We lay a band and then we'll loop, and we'll lay a band and then loop, and so on for the entire bracelet. So that's what we'll be doing here. It is a little time consuming, but I definitely think it's worth it. So we're going to go back to the middle here, and the front here is what we're going to be working with. So going from here to here to here is the side that we'll be working with right now. So I will be using black on the middle, and it will always be black for the entire bracelet on that pin. So now we don't have to twist anymore. We're just going to lay a band straight across like so. And now we're actually going to do an inverted fishtail stitch. So we're going to go inside that second band, moving it out of the way, and we're going to grab that bottom band, bringing it up, doing the same on the right side, doing an inverted fishtail stitch, and just push that down. Now we have to lay on our bands going to up and diagonal, which is red. No more twisting, just lay those two straight across like that. And now we're going to do an inverted stitch again on these front two pins. The front pins on both sides will always be the inverted stitch. Now we have to loop these back two. We're just going to bring that bottom layer up and over. So I'm going to turn my loom around. And as you can see here, I have my band to twist it. Okay, these are the two pins that we're going to be looping right here. So you just want to bring the bottom band up and over. Same on this side, bottom band coming up and over. Turn your loom back around. And now we're going to lay our down bands for this side, which is black in my case. So I'm laying one like that. And one right there. And they're the last bands that we're going to lay for this side. So now we have to bring that bottom band up and over again on this side. So I'm going to turn it back around. And you can see it's these two pins right here. Just grab that very bottom band and bring it up and over on both of those. Turning my loom back around. My front row should be facing the right direction. And now you can loop your two ends here. These two pins only have two bands on them, and will always only have two. So just grab the bottom layer and bring it up and over. So we're done with this side for now. So we're going to turn our loom around. Just like that. And we're going to lay our next layer for this side. So we're going to do the same thing on this side, except now if you're using different colors, you're going to switch now. So for me, I have gray in the middle. So I'm going to lay my gray like that. And we're going to do the inverted fishtail stitch on this middle pin. Doing the same on the right side. Push that down. Now we're going to lay our diagonal bands going up, which is going to be white. And now again we're going to do the inverted fishtail stitch on the front again. And now we have to loop our back pin, bringing the bottom layer up and over. If it's easier for you, you can just reach behind it and grab the bottom layer and bring it up and over like that, in case it confuses you when you turn it around, since there are a lot of bands. Or you can turn it around. It's whatever's easier on you. I find it's easier to leave it like this so I don't get confused. But just make sure that these two, you brought that bottom band up and over. And now we're going to lay our down bands, which in my case are red. So it should look like that. And now we are going to loop the bottom bands on these back two pins again. So just grab that very bottom band and bring it up and over on both of those pins in the back. Now we can loop our front two, so grab the very bottom band on those two outer pins. And now we are done with this side. So we're going to turn our loom back around. And we're going to lay this side. Now, if you ever forget which side you're supposed to be doing it on, if you look closely, you can see, just look for the very top layer. And I see that there's white on top connecting to this pin. So that shows me that I should be doing this one next, because I already have that one on top, which means I did that one last. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So going back to the beginning, we're going to start on our middle pin here, laying our black band across, and doing the inverted fishtail stitch on these two front pins. Push that down, and we're going to add on our next layer, which is our outer diagonal bands. So laying one red to the right and one to the left. And now we're going to go ahead and do our inverted fishtail stitch again on these front two pins. And now, excuse me, now on the back two pins, we're going to just bring that very bottom band up and over. Now we're going to lay our last bands for this side, going down, which is going to be black. Again, we're going to loop the bottom bands on these back two pins. And now we can loop the very front two on the outsides, bringing that bottom band up and over. And remember, these outer pins on both sides will only always have two bands when looping. Push those down. Turn your loom back around. We're going to do the same thing again on this side, starting with gray. Doing the inverted fishtail stitch. Laying my white bands going out. Doing the inverted stitch again on the front. Now doing the bottom band up and over on the back pins. Now we're going to lay our down band, which is red. Grabbing the bottom band, bringing it up and over. Doing the same on the front. Turning my loom back around. And I'm going to go ahead and do that again, but I think I'm going to do it silently this time. Okay. So if you have not caught on to how on how to lay the beads at this point, please feel free to rewind and watch the previous instructions. I am going to go ahead off camera and finish up the length of my bracelet. Then we will come back and close it up together. As your bracelet continues to grow, it will start coming out the bottom of the loom like mine's starting to right now. Just keep giving it a little bit of a pull just to pull it together as it starts to grow out. So I will finish up mine and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I did go ahead and finish up the length of my bracelet. I feel like it did take a little bit long to do so, but I love it. I think it looks so awesome with the colors I chose. But now let's go ahead and get it closed up. The last bands that I laid were my gray ones, so it would be the back row. Just make sure that's the last row that you ended on as well, just so we are on the same page when closing, meaning this direction is the one that should have been laid, not this one in the front. So if your loom looks like this, we can go ahead and close it up. So what we're going to do is just remove the bottom layer from every single one of these pins that have 2 bands on it, because we only want 1 layer on here. So starting here, because this one already has 1, we're just going to grab the very bottom band and bring it up and over. Go all the way down the loom so that you only have 1 band. Bringing each one up and over. I'm going to turn it around so I can do it on the other side. Repeat the same thing, bringing that bottom band up and over. Just like that. So now we should only have 1 band on each one of these pins. I'm turning my loom back around so that it's facing me. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing these outer bands together. So starting on the top here in the top right corner, I'm just going to carefully remove this top pin band off of this pin and bring it down to the bottom one like that. Doing the same on this left side. Just carefully remove that off of the pin and bring it down to the bottom one. Just like that. Now I am going to be bringing these 4 bands up at the top down to these bottom pins. So starting on the right, I'm just going to grab this black one, bring it down. Doing the same to this top one. Just bringing them all straight down. Like so. And now what I'm going to do is add, or actually before I do that, we're going to bring these end ones into these ones right here. So just go ahead and grab those 2 end ones, crossing it over, putting it on top like that. Doing the same. Doing the same here. Actually, you know what? I did not want to do that. Scratch that last part. I do apologize. If you already did it, grab those 2 bands and place them back on that pin. Make sure that you are like this and that you still have them all in these bottom rows, because we actually want to be taking these 2 pins and placing them on the outside first. So go to this pin here, grabbing those 2 bands, carefully stretch it across on top of that band. Do the same on this left side. Grab those 2 bands, stretch it over. And I don't know if you can hear any background noise, but my son is upstairs making a lot of noise. Sorry about that. So now we should have 4 bands on these 2 outer pins, and then the 2 bands on each pin in the middle. But we want them closer together, so we're going to move these now into this one. So be very careful, grabbing all 4 of these bands on the very out right side. We're going to bring them in 1 pin, so be very careful. You may even want to kind of hold on to those bands. Make sure you get all of them back onto that pin like that. We're going to do the same to this one, carefully grabbing all 4 of these bands and moving it over 1 spot. And don't lose any. It's very, very easy to do so. And just make sure you get them all back on. I'm having a little bit of a hard time. Okay. finally, I got them all on there. So as you can see, it can be a little bit difficult. Make sure you just take your time, get them all on there. I'd hate for you to lose all those bands because it is quite hard to figure out how to get it back together. So now we should just be down to 4 pins like this. And we're just going to stretch one band across all of these pins. I recommend using the inner color, but it's really up to you. No matter what color you use, somewhere it's not going to match up, but it's at the very end, so it's not too much of a big deal. I'm going to use black, and I'm just going to stretch it across all 4 of my pins like so. And now we're just going to bring the bottoms up and over on each one of these pins so that this band that we just put on is the only one left. So on this one, there should be 4 coming up and over. If you can't grab them all at once, that's okay. Just make sure that you eventually get them all up and over. Going to this pin, grabbing the 2 bands, stretching that over. Grabbing the 2 bands here, stretching that over. And now for the very last one on the very far right side, grabbing all of these bands and bringing them over. You can give your bracelet a little tug just to pull it down a little bit. And now we're going to go ahead and bring these into the middle. So just going to grab this outer band, bringing that in like that. Doing the same on the right side, like that. And now we're actually just going to take this one and put it on top of this one. So once again, just be very careful not to lose any bands. And just stretch it like that. So there should be 4 bands on there. That last part might be a little tense, so please make sure you're holding onto your bands. Now you can just put your hook in and slide that C-clip on, making sure to get around all 4 of those pins, or bands, excuse me. And now you can go ahead and slide it off of your loom. And give it a little bit of a tug. I love, love, love this design. I think it is so awesome. And then just come down to this other side, locating the end of your C-clip. You can see here there's like a little bit sticking out at the end. Just grab those 4 bands or even just 2 of them. I'm going to try to get all 4. My nails used to help me, but I don't have them anymore. And just give those a hook, just like that. And there you have the completed inverted fringy ladder. Now again, I don't know if that is the name of this bracelet, but that is what he referred to it as when he sent it to me. So for now, that's what I'm calling it. I will let you know on an updated name if he lets me know soon. Again, this is not my own original design, but it was based off of my Fringy Ladder design. This was done by Chase Malone, and on Instagram, he is known as Chase_Power123. I think he did a super awesome job. Look at this design here. I just think it's so cool. It is reversible. So on this side, you see I have the gray going down the middle. And then I have the black and red with the white on this side. So it's really cool. Here it is compared to my other design. So you can definitely mess around with the colors. As you can see on this one, I have the green completely going down the middle. So you can definitely play around with it. But if you like this design as much as I do, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below if you have not done so already. And check me out on Instagram at Loves to Loom. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out Chase Malone and his cool design. And thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.